When we last left off in the world of Tungra, our party members, Amnis, Bagrin, Korra, and Raz, defeated Dwalin deep within the mountains of Durin's Vale. Under the tutelage of Thrain and Gimli, members of the council who are working together to finally reveal the truth of what has been going on to the city. The Dark Lord, Kavar's tendrils run deep throughout the machinations of everything that happens here. And after you remove the crown from the head of Dwalin, Korra placed it upon her head and began to hear voices that spoke to her. Before long, and after a daring chase, she was arrested for her recent chaotic behavior and under command of Bogrin, a soon to be council member of Durinforge, sent off to Tower Ironbeard, potentially to be set forth into a maximum security holding cell. And as Thrain and Dwalin are both carried off, the party stands here within the council chambers with the four remaining council members around them: Alara, Stoneseer, Brunhilde, Glittergem, Borin, Stonebrew, and Gimli Runehammer himself. And after some discussion, it has been decided that the remaining seats for the council shall be filled with Lady Balin Gearforge of Durinforge and Bogrin Azure Flame of the Hammers of Moradin. Now, the council would put this to vote tonight, and after reminding each other that more important matters are at hand, the funeral for Lady Hilda, Bogrin begins to procure a letter for his friend Amnis. And Bogrin, I'm assuming that you have your letter ready.
Oh, yeah. I make the request for the hammers that sent me here to send some backup clerics, as I believe the town needs like a high priest or someone of the highest domination to help me reopen the temple here in terms to reestablish connection to Moradin for the city, and to let them also know the findings of everything that we've discovered, between everything given through Thrain and Dwalin, and the state that it seems they're kind of pushing towards with how much Gimli's pushed. It seems like the city has that same mindset in mind, as they've also kind of pushed Amnis out, just for being connected to someone not of Dwarven heritage.
Okay. So he
Um,
hands you a
yeah.
letter that kind of gives the gist of that, Amnis, and as he does,
Uh, all right, buddy, you
Oh,
can count on me.
oh yeah.
Huh?
Sorry. Also, make sure the letter mentions Kavar and the other connections, and also just all the stuff they discovered.
Alrighty, I got it, buddy. I'll make sure this gets sent out. Urgent, quick as possible. But first, me and Rice here are gonna check Dolan's place to see what else things he could be hiding. Maybe for something we can use, maybe something we can, store. And so I'll see you in a bit. All right, take care of yourself.
Don't forget to check the canopy for all the other mysteries.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that as well if I have the time. But I'll definitely try to make time for it, though.
uh,
I'm,
Amnes,
huh?
you are hereby deputized by the will of this council. Search Dwalin's quarters and bring us proof one way or another. And it must be laid bare, no matter how grim. As you hear another voice call up as Alara speaks out, she says, and if the boy they whispered of is real, you'll find him there. And if not, at least we'll know.
All right. Will do. Rise, you ready to head out, buddy?
Sure. But do we have a map or whatever to this place, or do we just like, is it in this building? What are we looking at exactly?
Oh, guess that's a good question. Gimli, do you know if the place we came out after fighting Dwalin, is his quarters over there, or is it in a whole different place?
Ah, you can find Dwalin's quarters near the District of Engineering, over near Tower Ironbeard. As he says, but here, take this as well. He says, since you'll be heading out that way, send this summons for Lady Balin to join us tonight at the council chambers after the funeral.
I will do. Make sure I do that. Thank you for everything. No one kind of, came off at the wrong foot in the beginning since Lady Balin's first trial, but I'm glad that we're on the same side.
Well, that tends to happen when a man's swinging a hammer at your back.
Yeah, that is true. All right. As I turn to Bogdan. Hi there, buddy. Old pal, old friend of mine. Stay safe. Hope everything goes well with the console here. And me and Rise got all this handled.
Yeah, whenever you're ready, buddy. Ready to go when you are.
All right, let's head out. As me and Rise head out.
As you all are heading out, you watch as the large, heavy iron doors groan open, and a small team of robed drawers start to enter carrying a veiled body. Behind them, a taller, pale dwarf with silvered eye lenses and glowing runes etched into the gloves on his hands. He walks in as you guys are sort of passing in the enter-exit zone.
You, you're gonna make sure her grandson knows about her passing, right?
Why, yes, of course. But we, of course, need to perform the first rite or the last rites.
That's right. What is that? That's my first time hearing something like that. Sorry for being not knowledgeable of the subject.
Duh! Baylor, come in! As Gimli ushers for him to step forward, and as he steps a little bit past you, they walk in with the body as you are standing there kind of watching this and become a part of this now. As he says, greetings, honored council members. I'm Baylor, arcane investigator. In your absence, my team has completed a preliminary examination of Lady Hilda's remains, and I have come requesting permission to begin the final rites. As Brunhilde speaks up, she says, then you have it. Speak and let her spirit do the same. And as he takes a bow briefly, he goes into his bag, and as his assistants begin to lay out an arrangement of cloths and unfurling them, and as you see, it's different materials laid out on each section. There's a pile of obsidian dust, and then one puts down a glass bowl before lighting up incense, and you can see the smoke start to glide up into the sky. And as the glowing runes on his hands begin to shine, they pull back the veil, revealing Hilda's frozen and body still with a stiff rigor mortis to her as he says, I will now cast Speak with Dead and let silence yield to truth as the flames in the council chambers begin to dim and a chill wind stirs through the room. Hilda's eyes begin to flutter open, and you can see, those of you that are looking, you can see a milky texture over them as her mouth opens up in this awning way. As Baylor looks out, he says, as this is your investigation, council members, who would you have question her for her final rights? As Gimli looks over at the members, and he says, why, Bogren, you are here to usher us back into Moradin's light. Please, if you would be so kind as to question her, see what truth she may reveal about what afflicts her, what caused this.
Second. I'm trying to see if there are like any limitations to talking to her or anything like that.
You're okay. You just have 3 questions that you can ask her, and she will try to answer them as best as she can.
You got this, buddy.
You're still here?
Yeah. I was just asking what the last ride was.
I thought you guys were walking out the door. My bad. um. What were you doing before you were killed here?
Watching stars, silver sky.
I cover Rise's eyes. I don't think he should be seeing this as a kid dead corpse talking, so
What do you? Okay.
Um. Do you know who killed you and how you were killed?
A boy, no breath, no weight, eyes like the voice. Smiled, show me memories, my self.
little boy, didn't know there was other children around here.
You're a boy yourself, Hemnus, quiet.
I am not a boy.
Is there anything you need to have done? Like, is there anything that we were supposed to that we can help finish for you?
Outsiders, trusted faces, daggers in hands. As she fades back into her corporeal form, as Baylor says, "Council members, I fear that this was not madness or fright. I've deduced this was a phantasmal force, but more enhanced, weaponized. Someone used her fear as a scalpel. It fears
What
that
was your
may...
name again, Master?
My name is Baylor.
Belo, do you happen to know the spell Zone of Truth?
Why, yes, of course.
May you cast it upon the council, please, as to clear any suspicions amongst ourselves for those who might have daggers at hand."
So Gimli looks around. Why? Get on with it. As he says, alrighty, as he casts his Zone of Truth over the seated members.
All right,
Did
Bogman.
anyone... Oh, sorry.
Don't worry. I'm gonna let you handle this. It seemed like a council matter. Me and Rise gonna head out and go. Let's go, Rise. As I start walking off.
And I'm just because you're still covering my eyes, so I'm just like, I guess. Okay.
I let go your ass.
Oh, okay then. Yeah, I guess we're going. See you later, Bargain. And I wave at the councilman.
Rice, remember what I told you before you walked in here. Keep Moradin close. He can watch over. As long as you keep that braid tight. But
Great.
I'll see you soon.
Okay.
All right, as Amnis and Raz begin to make their way out, Barber, you watch as Baylor grasped his hammer sigil on his necklace before casting out a Zoma Truth spell. It looks a little bit different from yours, but they all have their own little identity to them. As he says, "All right."
Gimli, you were here as you saw this, as you saw within the council that there are others who knew what had been really going on in the city. Can you answer now that you had no idea of anything else going on?
I have no knowledge of Freyne and Dwalin's dwellings. Droomhelm Row is my home. That is my domain. And we forge, and we hammer, and we build there. Nothing to do with the dismantling of our grand city.
And that includes Kavar?
Of course I know the name, but no idea he was working with Dwalin and Thrain.
Okay. Then answer this question very directly. Did you at any time have dealings with Kavar? Yes or no?
Never.
Thank you. The rest of the council is sitting here. I'm assuming Born,
Born,
Born.
Hilda, and Elara.
Okay. So yeah, I go over to Alara. Actually, no. I stand facing the rest of the table and look amongst the rest of them, and I ask them the exact same question. Does anybody here know of Kavar's grasp on the city?
No.
Yes or no?
No. No. They all answer.
And did anybody here work with sorry, I'm just spacing out. Did anybody here know of Thrain and Dwalin's treachery? Like the things that they had been doing and why?
Brunhilde, she kind of says, I had my unfortunate thoughts that perhaps Dwalin was misusing the gold in some way. It all seemed to just go, you know. But nothing this deep, nothing this dense. Of course not.
And look at Alara and ask her, did she not know anything else was going on?
Yeah, they all give you like the same sentiment that none of them knew.
Okay. With the acknowledgement of all of this, I asked them, why did they allow Lady Hilda to come to how did they allow Lady Hilda to become excluded or feel to the point where she could only like hide herself in the office to the point where she was by herself?
We talked about this, mate. I feel for Lady Hilda. Of course I should have listened to her. But we all thought it was fake news. Who wouldn't trust Thrain? He's been our leader for so many years. Is all we know. We've grown into such a mighty city under his tenureship. But he was doing in the dark. It's unfortunate, mate.
And to was it Baylor?
Yes. Balor.
So your investigation, did you discover anything correlating along the lines of he wasn't here for the what was released earlier, right?
No, he just got here.
Council members, do you all know and trust Baylor?
Oh, are you talking about with Cora and talking about everything?
Yeah.
No, okay, yeah, he was there for that. So yeah, he's aware. So everybody is aware.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I asked him, did any of his findings correlate up to the truth that was revealed through Cora and everybody else?
No. That was also unfortunate news to me. We were knees deep in trying to figure out what croaked old Lady Hilda, and then that elf girl, she just comes running out, screaming about vampires and the council's in shambles. It's all a mess. In fact, if I could get back to my family, I feel
The sooner the better.
and all the chaos. Yes. Yeah, take my leave.
Before he gives up the zone of truth, I ask them one last time, between anything and everybody here at the table. You all believed in Thrain and Dwalin, and I must ask you all, are there any other doubts that you have for the council members that are sitting at this table in the connections to the vampires and Kavar?
No, of course not. As they all kind of give that sentiment, and it gets to Alara. She says, "Well, at this point, the only one I'm concerned about is your trust in us. You're the only one that has not been questioned. And don't forget, Bargren, you still need to get our votes tonight." As Gimli says,
I'm
"Oh,
sorry.
Alara, he's doing his job, and I asked him to. Lay off. I thought you did great, Bargren. If Thane would have questioned us more, perhaps the truth would have came out. But I guess he who holds the power decides who's questioned.
You're right, Alara. I apologize. My distrust is only at the fact that I do not know all of you. I thought we knew the people who were in charge, and it turned out to be Thrain alone. Or not alone, but another member of the council as well.
And here I had a gift for you. As Gimli says, "Oh, shush. All right. Enough with the formalities. Now, Bargren, let us show you around. Get you comfortable. And then we'll send you off for the day. This will be, in fact, the last day you'll just be a regular citizen here in Dorinforge. For tomorrow, you'll be a full-fledged member of the council with your own chair."
Baylor?
As Baylor is walking out, giving his takes his leave.
That's going to be the 7th member?
Oh no, he says, yes, the 7th member. We haven't quite decided who will be the 7th member yet, and there appears to be some distinction amongst us as he looks at the other members. So we've decided we will take the day to think about it, revel in it, be amongst the citizenry. This news of vampires in our town has caused a morale shift amongst the citizens, and we need to hear them, see where their blood is, and from there, I think that person will reveal themselves to us. But first, Bargren, let me show you around. As he steps up and the council members all stand and they begin to walk towards the door as Gimli puts his hand on your shoulder. And he says, "Don't worry about it, Lara. You're gonna get voted in."
It's not so much as the vote that I care about, but the safety of the rest of the city.
"Oh, you're gonna make a great hammer." As he guides you up and he says, he takes you like through the temple, and you're very familiar with this area. You've been in more of the public spaces here as he takes you down into where Thrain's room was, and he says, this was Thrain's room, reserved for the head of the council. It's yours now, if you take it. It's very ornate. As you look around, it's full of various relics and gold leaf murals and heavy stone furniture of dwarven excellence. As he says, "Never cared for the silk sheets myself, but you'll make the place holy again." As he goes over to the corner and he grabs a chest from off the ground and he slams it on the table. "For your efforts, past and future."
Oh. Is this like blood money? Or is this just like what was left of like the caves and stuff?
Well, it's here, right? Thrain won't be near it where he's going. Hangman's got a thirst and, he's gonna drink up tonight. Speaking of that, Gimli, I was wondering as Born speaks up, shouldn't we have a trial of some sort? We shouldn't just execute them. We should present evidence beneath the light of Moradin and a show of good faith. He says, "Good faith? Pfft, spew good faith. They sort us out. That's treason. Hang 'em by the neck."
There's different forms of treason, so there's no need to quickly go to killing them. They have decided, they understand that their position is forfeit, and from the sound of it, it seemed like they were ready to give up their life to help get us back on the path that we need to be on. A trial or some sort of test to get them to help them understand and see where they failed in order to make a return back. Something. We shouldn't give up somebody who's willing to give up so much information that knows all the other connections to the rest of the way that things are here.
Amnesty and I
Seeing as
will
how
return
none of
with
you
the
know.
truth. And until then, I suppose we will wait. Thrain and Dwalin betrayed the safety of the city, and that is why it requires this utmost action. But I hear you, Bogran, and that's what makes you the closest to Moradin of us all. So, you'll take your word. Get comfortable. This will be your room moving forward. Enjoy your gifts, and enjoy the rest of your day. Go amongst the people.
Wait. Speaking of Moradin, there's one thing I can't that would stop me from sleeping well. Can we get rid of those false clerics hiding inside of the church?
Oh, of course. That'll be our first act once you're on the council in the morning. Redo the entire temple. Get rid of those clerics who preach about tiefling and elvish gods. Patui! Don't need it at all.
That's uncalled for. All right. Well, we're gonna have to have the conversation about how you feel about the elves, the gnomes, and everyone else.
Oh, Bogran, you've done enough for today, mate. Rest, reflect, or walk the city. Your time will soon come. Enjoy your last night as a regular citizen of the city, Hammer of Moradin.
Thank you.
As they walk out, Alara walks up to you and she hits you in the chest with something as her hand sits there. She says, "Take it."
Grab whatever it is that hit me in the chest.
She says, "It's Moradin's whetstone. It'll assist you in your new councilship."
Oh. Where did you find this?
Oh, stone seers have their ways.
We must talk after after tonight if we can.
We must.
Please stay on guard. I fear after what happened to Cora that trust and endangerment are very close to each other at this moment, and I need you to play as safe as possible.
I appreciate your concern, Hammer. Do enjoy the rest of your day. How will you be spending it, if I may ask?
Praying for guidance.
Oh, well then, I'll see you to it. As she leaves out of the room and you are left within the room here, you have your bed and all of your furniture, your chest with your whetstone in hand.
Yeah, I will. I guess open the chest out to see what was inside. Hope it's like one
As you
point.
open the chest, it is 500 gold pieces.
Yeah, well, okay. Wow, that's great. I've got to figure out how to make 500 feel like 5,000. Now take the chest and shove it into the bag of holding and I want to try to inspect the room, try to get an eye on everything else that's like around me.
Yeah, as you look around, it's a pretty grand room. Fairly normal. Thrain has a desk here, with some papers. He also has a nice closet with various clothes there, that are fitted to his size. You may, want to keep them or get them removed. There's a seating area here as well in front of a large grand fireplace, and there's a large stone bed, with a wool mattress on top with a silk and like silk and gold sort of fixtures on the coverings of the bed, as well as several like paintings and statues along the walls and standing on pedestals here of different Dwarven uh, epitaphs, if you will. Um, it's a very nice room.
Okay. Um. hmm. I want to. Yeah. I want to go over to the fireplace. Take a knee, staring to the fire. Um. Kind of going over everything that just recently happened. And in that moment, I want to try and start doing my little ritual. Um, or is it the little channel divinity? What's it called? The Artisan's Blessing?
All right, yeah. What are you doing with it?
Uh, I want to. You said I have those axes, right?
Yes.
Those little throwing axes. Is there a way I can like form them into one whole axe
Yeah. So you start working on
using the same tributes?
the axe over the next hour.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
and
Yeah.
then
So right now,
sorry.
just for time reference, it's about noon, so it's about lunchtime, coming up here.
Okay. Um, so it'll just be like it'll be the hour, and then I'll just probably go to bed after. But during the ritual, I'm just gonna uh also use the time to like pray. Like I'm gonna use the forging and blessing and pray in between in front of the fire, hoping to get some type of guidance through the flame.
Okay. So you're
Um,
gonna craft this axe and take a short rest or long rest.
long rest.
Okay. Cool. Alrighty.
Um, and yeah, uh, yeah. In the prayer, while working on the axe, I hope that I pray basically that Morden tries to help push me in some sort of way for me to find the right way to reconnect the people here and reforge their faith in him, hopefully. Uh, and yeah, and to try to find a way to try and take this like attitude that Gimli seems to have towards all other races, especially elves and some of the tieflings and stuff, and try to help me think of a way to, I don't know, help them see that they're not all bad, and that even when they're bad, there's something to try to help them out with. But yeah, and I try to stay true to his teachings.
Alrighty. As you begin to work on your axe and you say your prayer, you feel the. Do y'all hear that buzzing sound? Real quick.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
1 second.